Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I am Dr. Terry Hope, and I'm here with my kind and miraculous colleague, Yvette Pinella. And we thought we would look at and share with you this really cool process called Access Bars. And Yvette, tell me what you know about this.
Oh, what do I know about access bars? Is this amazing, actually a body process that's done on the head. It's a very light touch. Um, it just resets my mood. It just clears my mind of that monkey chatter.
Yeah, and like how many people, like so many people that I talk to on a daily basis that when they have a lot going on in their world, in their lives, and sometimes for them it creates stress and sometimes not, but it's almost like it's constant chatter, constant the next thing to do, the next thing to do.
Mhm.
And and how that affects their capacities to have clarity about what the next step could be because it's coming from that racingness, right?
Right. Hard to create from that point. Um, it sets us in a mode that there's not a lot of space to create and generate from there. Whereas, in my experience, it's just like the reset button. I love explaining to people. It's like, when you're using your computer and it's like not even receiving, it like won't go to the website, and you're like, what's going on? Oh, I've got to delete the cookies. Got it. Okay. Like there's no receiving when that monkey chatter's going on.
No. And the idea of receiving, like a lot of people don't really get, like it's a word that people don't really get, but it's kind of like when you get an idea or an inspiration, to me, this is how I would, is like you get an idea of how to do it differently, how you can actually get it so that all of the things that you have to do, pick up the kids, make sure you coordinate the schedules, all of the things you get, the new pieces of ideas that could come in that allow you to actually create things with simplicity, if that's what you're looking to do. But when you have the, I like your analogy, you can't get to the website thing and you're busy caught in that loop of stress or continuous thought, you actually can't really receive all of those ideas, right?
Exactly. And it's like until you get that moment of like, oh, I just need to do this. I just need to dump out the garbage. And then I can go to where I want to go, like with total ease. Whereas you can get caught in the like, what's going on? What's wrong? And then you obsess about what's wrong. And then you could keep like creating from that point of view, and like you don't go anywhere. Like you don't go to your website, you can't buy the tickets, you can't like make reservations for dinner, you can't.
I know, right? And it's kind of interesting because the first time I experienced access bars was many years ago, and I was at an event, and it was kind of funny because I was already really happy in my life, and what happened was I registered to have this 20-minute session on, and I was lying on a massage table, and they were just touching my head, and I was like, okay, I'll try this because my friend talked me into it. And after 20 minutes, I got off this massage table and I was the happiest I'd ever been in my life. Like to me, I was thinking, how does a happy person become happier?
Wow, I
And
love that.
and I kind of go, have we, in so many ways, if we knew that there was something greater, that there was a different way to experience life. I was at that point doing neurofeedback to work with people who had anxiety and depression. And once I had that experience, I was like, where does neurofeedback fall into my practice? And that actually brought me to a place of wanting to do research, which I did, on access bars to see what does this thing do.
Wow, That's brilliant. You just answered, like, I was wondering about all this, like when, like what was your first session like? And I was thinking about my own too, but like you just answered all that. I love that.
Yeah, and for everybody, I think the experience is different depending on. I had no idea I was doing and what it was about, or I was just kind of talked into it. And I wouldn't say I was resistant to it, but I was like, okay, I'll do it. And what everybody received from a session is entirely different, which is really remarkable because it's the person who's receiving the session that actually is the one who kind of dictates where it goes, what it creates. And what's super cool to me is like, and I saw this in research, was that once a session is over, the expansion of living and the amount of clarity and peace and stuff doesn't stop. Like it's not like a massage where you just finish the massage and that's the end of massage and now you kind of adjust yourself and you might, have some awareness or something for a couple of days and then it kind of retracts. But what I've noticed about Access Bars is that it keeps on creating for you. So it's not limited to the time that you're receiving a session.
Yeah, it keeps expanding. I think I remember getting off the table and like colors were just so much brighter and just like food. Oh my gosh, food tastes like vibrant and alive. And it was just like there was this party in my mouth. And I was like, everything's different.
Yeah.
Like I'm alive, everything's alive.
Oh my God. Including you.
Yes, yes, just a whole new vibrancy that just wasn't there prior to my session.
Wow. Wow. So what inspired you? We've never talked about this. But what inspired you to start to facilitate Access Bars and teach classes?
Mm, I started playing with energy and um it just looked so much fun to be able to bring this to people, to see how people just in one day, like their whole lives kind of changed. Like they would come in focusing on like what they wanted to create change with, but really in a place that they didn't have these tools to, like they just stayed in the I want this part. And
Yeah.
then by the time they left, they were just smiling and beaming and like they were no longer focusing on what the problem was.
Yeah.
They were just like they just stepped aside and they were like, "Oh my God, life's amazing." And I was like, "I want to do that."
Yeah. 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 And it's pretty interesting because what I really know, and it showed up in research. Not that we need research, like we don't see science to know what we know, but it's kind of cool because you look and go, oh, that's what I observed in people that I was facilitating, was that it touched on every aspect of their life. It wasn't just I'm going to remove this problem
Mm,
or I'm going to have it so that this problem doesn't exist. It actually, like all aspects of their lives, changed, like just changed, whatever that is. And other elements that were there that they had kind of put in the background seemed to have more ease with them, or they could handle them differently.
that's beautiful. I have one student that took the bars and she intentionally was able to clear fear of heights and fear of snakes. Like she like watched movies while she got her bars run, and like it was a lifelong dream to like work on boats. And
Yeah.
like all of a sudden she was like now she's flying. She had this fear of flying. Now she's getting ready to fly to Europe. I mean, it's super amazing to see the changes that are available and just to see people like skyrocket.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I've seen that too, where people have had have come to a class or sessions, and those things that plague people, like, being afraid of heights, let's say, or jumping on a plane, and all of those things, all of a sudden they dissipate, including what I've seen is like where people have had long-standing trauma, whatever that is. It seems to not be, as it's not intrusive, and sometimes it completely disappears, can really disappear in like, one session or a couple of sessions. So I look at what access bars can bring to people's lives, and it's kind of interesting how it is, I don't say easy, but how much it actually brings to people's worlds.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. The smiles, the brilliance that people will walk out of class with, the joy, the level of joy is incredible. It's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that that's what inspired me to start facilitating access bars after I did research, because I was like, I have such a desire for everybody in the world to have a sense of, for me, to have a sense of like peace, and that the brilliance of who they are actually comes to the surface, like, is available for them. Because if we're stressed and we can't see beyond the veils, I'll say, of all of those things, how brilliant people are, in terms of being of who they are, like brilliant with capacities and stuff, actually starts to show itself. And then people become more engaged in life, and they're seem like all of a sudden they're connected to living.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Right?
amazing to witness that. And like you doing all the research and saying that you've been watching people for all these years go through this transformation, like in like 60 minutes.
I know, right?
That's so
It's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's so cool. So we thought we would get together and just share this with you, because we've never actually, usually we would facilitate a class on our own for access bars.
Yeah.
And you so graciously asked me to join you so we could actually do an access bars class together, which is like so much fun, because each of us has a different energy and a different contribution and a different space. And so it's like doubling down.
You get two parties here.
Two parties. Like two amazing energies that, yeah, like for me, it's like, how is it that we can be for people that they can experience life the way they would like to, you know?
Yes, it's quite an opportunity. And so our class is coming up Sunday, September 8th in downtown Fort Lauderdale. We've got some beautiful hotels if you would like to fly in. We've got some beautiful beaches if you would like to come for a visit.
I
Come
know,
join
right?
us. Yes.
Please come join us. And if you have any questions and you went, I don't really know what this is, and I would love to know more before I jump on a plane or drive from one end of the country to the other, feel free to reach out. And we're looking forward to meeting you in person. And we're actually going to do a secondary piece to this, like a live. So if you're coming to the class, where we're going to do a live, and we're going to invite people who are online to come and join us for a special 1 hour session. It's a surprise right now, but we'll unveil a surprise. So it's got lots of really cool additional pieces that are beyond a regular access bars class. So please, yeah, feel free to reach out, and all of the information for this, you can either go to accessconsciousness.com or accessbodyconsciousness.com and get more info and how to connect with us.
Beautiful.
Looking forward to seeing all of you. or meeting you in another time.
Anywhere around the world.
Yeah, somewhere in the world. Have a great one. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Awesome.